Week 16, day 3. Oh, you're not going to like this one. Oh, my goodness, there's going to be some people out there that are going to say, that's it, I'm not listening to him anymore. He's quit teaching and started preaching. I don't want to listen to him anymore. Losers Limp. When you watch a football game and a player fumbles or drops a pass, many times he lays on the field as if seriously injured. I promise you, my wife gets so tired of me saying, watching NFL and college football games, and somebody fumbles a football or drops a pass, and they lay on the field. Well, if they hadn't got hurt, they would have never fumbled that football. Yeah, that's called a loser's limp. In some cases, the injury may be real, but it's been my experience that often the player's looking for sympathy. It's most evident at a track meet. All the runners begin, and they're all there, and they know that they're going to win it. And the gun goes off, especially in the 400 and 200 meter. And they come around that corner, and they look, and they see 7 guys in front of them. And they know there's no hope to win this race. If there's hope in the future, there's power in the present. They know there's no hope, so what do they lose? They lose the power. And instead of wanting to come in last, they start limping. And their mama said, if he hadn't have pulled that hamstring, I believe he'd have won. And the athlete said, if I hadn't have pulled that hamstring, I think I'd have won it. See, that's no common sense whatsoever. I don't care if you're in track or football or anything. When you're out there running a race, you're running against yourself. You're running for the time. That's what you're running for. You're running to beat yourself. If you ran a 12.5 100 meter last week, you want to run a 12.4 100 meter this week, period. That's what makes it. But you don't need to pull up and act like you're injured. You don't need to lay out there. Remember that when we talked about respondability and the positive mental attitude, the thing that went around with positive mental attitude were, are you going to respond or are you going to react? If you're dead last in a race, are you going to respond or are you going to react? The reaction is a loser's limp. I'm hurt. No, you're not hurt. You're trying to get some sympathy so somebody will say, if he hadn't gotten hurt, he'd have won. And what you don't realize is nobody believes that. Well, I'll take that back. Your mama believes it. You also see it when the student's in a class and he gets a 55 on a test. It doesn't matter to me anyway. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. That's called a loser's limp. Wasn't my fault. That teacher didn't teach us what we needed to be taught. See, all these things run together. Being a thorn in a classroom, having a loser's limp. I didn't even try. I didn't make any effort at all. I didn't even try. Johnny, you didn't write all the questions. I know I didn't even try. I don't care about school. You know what that's called? Loser's limp. And some people never lose it. When they're 30 years old and they don't get the job or the promotion, well, I really didn't want that job. I withdrew. And it's especially true in my profession. I've never seen so many people that withdrew from they apply for a job, do everything in the world they can to get it, and then when they find out they're not going to get it, they're the first ones to call the newspaper and say, well, I withdrew. I've decided that I'm going to stay here at my school. I love this school. This is my home. This is my school. Loser's limp. React. You're not injured. Get up off the field. You know, what's the difference? Our players, the one thing I was the proudest of, if one of our players was laying on the field, I promise you he was hurt. I guarantee you he had an injury. I don't believe in 42 years of coaching I ever had a kid lay on the field, acted like you had to get the EMS out there, and then got up and jogged off and came back the next play. Don't have the loser's limp. Don't look for excuses. Common sense tells you not to make excuses. Nobody believes your excuses anyway. That's common sense. Why do you think people use the loser's limp? I can guarantee you. Here's the answer to that question. Let me give it to you so you can write it down. Mental age. Children use the loser's limp. Men and women do not use the loser's limp. That's common sense. If you have a mental age of a child, you lose. I don't care if you're a professional football player and you're 28 years old and you've been an all-pro 3 times and you fumble a football and you lay on the field, you have a mental age of about 11. That's what that action denotes. How do you know someone's got a loser's limp? A mental age. That's what determines a loser's limp. I told you wasn't going to like today. Today is preaching. But I hope you realize that common sense tells you loser's limp gains you nothing. I hope to see you tomorrow.